The next thing I want to touch on is pornography, because eliminating that from my life has been ultimately one of the greatest things that I've ever done. And you can go on the internet and you can search for Dr. Jordan Peterson or Dr. Andrew Huberman and all of these doctors who talk about the detrimental effects of porn, especially on males. And they'll tell you about the biology and the neuroscience and the psychology behind all of that and how it's really, really bad for you. You can look at that. I cannot explain that biology, the neuroscience behind that. I can only tell you my personal experience, but I would do some of your research on that if that's an issue in your life right now. And you know it's an issue because you have this thing in the back of your head that's telling you it's an issue. You feel some sort of guilt or shame every time you do it. Okay, you need to start addressing those things, because that guilt and shame is going to build up, and it's going to lead you into having guilt and shame in your next relationship with a real person. Okay, so now we're talking about hurting real people unintentionally, so you have to address the things now in your life that may become detrimental to real relationships later on. So again, you can look at those people and you can search on the internet for all this really scientific backed research about the detrimental effects to porn, especially on males. So I'm talking from male experience. But for me, eliminating it, full stop, is what you should do. Removing it from your life. That's it. That's like I made that decision, and it's completely changed me. It's changed everything. It's changed the way I view things. It's changed. It's just it's hard to it's hard to put into words like exactly how. But if you're thinking about it, it's been something that's on your mind. Again, if you feel some sort of guilt and shame behind doing it, if you're already in a relationship and it's hurting your libido or your sex drive or your intimacy with your partner, or you're expecting something from her or him that you may have seen on the internet or other people do, then it's hurting your relationship. It's hurting your real life, intimate relationships. And that's the utmost important thing we have in this life, is the connections and the intimacy we have with the people in our lives. And if we truly, truly, truly want to show up for them, for ourselves, in a real, loving, kind, compassionate way, then we have to stop watching pornography immediately. And it could be an addiction. It could be an addiction like anything else. Drugs, alcohol, whatever the addiction or the vice is. And so just full stop quitting it is probably really hard. It may be impossible. And it might be that you need to implement some of these tactics and these tools like they do for drugs and alcohol, a 12-step program, a support system, a guide, a professional to help you get off this. And there's no shame and there's no guilt behind this, right? It's highly accessible. It's very easy to get attached to it. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of the social media and the aspects of the internet. It's hacking your psyche, so it wants you to come back every single day, possibly multiple times a day. And so if you are addicted, if you kind of know that it's an issue and it's ruining some of your real life relationships, then you need to take a step back and figure out how to not do it anymore. Because you're strong enough, your willpower is strong enough to stop doing it, to completely eliminate it from your life. And again, if you need to get into a 12-step program, if you need more guides, more help, more professional help, there's resources available for that. But I'm telling you from personal experience that not watching porn anymore changed my life for the better, full stop. That's it, period. And I encourage you to you have to take an honest look. It's not pathetic. It's not embarrassing where your life is right now. It's not. Your life is right now where it's at, and that's where it is. You can get better moment by moment, day by day. You can improve your life where you're at. You can improve it. You can. And you can show up as the best version of yourself more consistently if you start, again, to take an honest look at your life. And then you reduce that big picture all the way down to the smallest increment of how you can take a step forward that you will actually take to increase the value in your life, to improve your life. Okay, so that's about what you want in a relationship, where you want your job to be, what you want your fitness and health to look like, how you want your nutrition to be. It's about porn, it's about sex, it's about relationships. You have to be conscious and intentional with all of these things because they have an effect. And there's consequences of action and inaction on all of these things. And journaling and writing things down and taking an introspective look is that the first step of starting to understand where you are and where you might want to be and where you potentially could be. Because you could be exactly where you want to be because you have so much untapped potential in you that's just dormant, and you're ready. You're ready to harness that power and show up as the best version of yourself.